Hi, I'm Christine Smalley, founder of Echelage, and jewellery designer and educator. I'm a Sydney-based jewellery designer, and we have an online store as well, showcasing my latest jewellery designs as well as selling beads for your own DIY projects and jewellery designs. If you are in Sydney, please join us at one of our workshops. Check the schedule online at echelage.com, and also join us at the bead shows in Sydney and Melbourne. Thanks for finding us, and enjoy viewing this video. So what is this video about? So there's three things that you'll learn today. The first thing you'll learn about is wire. The second thing you'll learn about is what to do with the wire. And the third thing I'll show you is actually a step-by-step project where I will have a stone and I'll actually wire wrap that. So let me introduce you to wire. So wire can come on a spool, like this one here, that's a non-tarnish wire, or it can come on a hank. And it comes in different, what we call gauges, or you may see on packets SWG, which is the standard wire gauge. Basically, the higher the number, the finer the wire. So this is a really, really fine wire. It's a 28 gauge wire. So you would use a 28 gauge wire if, for example, you were crocheting. And this is a beautiful pair of earrings. I didn't make them. Nanda Altavilla did. She's one of our tutors. So it's an amazing stone that has been crocheted. So it's literally like a nest that holds the stone. And this is the stone here. It's a Rivoli. The wire that we'll be using in our project is a 22 gauge, and that's about 6 millimeter in diameter, and it's probably the most popular wire that you will use. And then I've also got an example of a really thick gauge. So this one here is a 16 gauge wire, so it is really, really thick. It's about 1.6 millimeters in diameter, so twice the thickness of the 22 gauge. And this is a hand forged sterling silver clasp that I've made. But for today's project, let me show you now step by step how to make a wire wrap stone. So the first thing I've done is to work out which is my up and which is my bottom on the stone. So this is a wire part, so this is going to be my bottom. I've cut a piece of wire that is approximately 4 centimeters longer than my stone, and I've formed a loop at one end using my round nose pliers. So I'll thread that through now. I have then cut a second piece of wire, and this wire is approximately 10 centimeters longer than the stone. I'm going to thread it through the loop that I created at the bottom. And then I'm going to wrap these wires onto what I would call the spine. So the spine is the wire that is threaded through the stone. So wrap from the bottom, and you want your wraps to be flush up against one another. If they're not flush, I can show you a trick. So I've done that 6 times. I'm then going to grab the other excess wire and wrap in the other direction. But before I do, my wraps have got gaps in them. So to correct that, this is what I need to do. Use a pair of flat nose pliers, so they've got a flat surface on the inside. I'm going to group the top and the bottom's wraps, and just using a little bit of force, I've now got them all flush up against one another, so it looks almost like a spiral. Okay, with the other excess wire, wrap it around. So this one I'll do flush. So I've wrapped that around. I now need to cut the excess wire. So there'll be 2 pieces that I need to cut. Then the spine here, I need to form a loop, and I'm going to not trim it. I'm actually just going to roll my plier down to create a double loop, almost like a split ring, so it's more secure. Now the next thing I need to do is to use a jump ring. So I'll just open that up using both pair of pliers, twisting it opened, threading my wrapped loop on, and then twist back to close. And voila, a wrapped loop. So to summarize, I measured the length of the stone and cut an extra 4 centimeters. I then cut another piece of wire and it was 10 centimeters longer than the stone. I threaded the first piece of wire through the stone and formed a loop. I then used the second piece of wire and wrapped around the stone and then wrapped around the spine, so both stones, and then formed a loop with the spine and then added a ring. It's that easy.